This next clip sent in from a farmer was on a routine check on a snowy afternoon, the kind of task you don't think much about. Just making sure the burn pit was under control at the back of the property. As he pulled up, everything was as expected. The fire is doing what it does, no surprises there. But as he turned the truck around, something unusual happened, though he didn't notice it at the time. Unbeknownst to him, the dashcam picked up something strange, just behind the red barn, a figure, large, hairy, and distinctly out of place. Was it a bear, possibly drawn in by the warmth of the fire? But something about the size and shape didn't quite match. A lot of people are calling for this to be something more mysterious. Similar sightings of Bigfoot in snowy backdrops have been in an uptick in various parts of the world. Whatever it was and for however long it stayed, no one knows. What do you think the dashcam captured? It was around 11 p.m., leaving the road dark and eerie. A very fitting backdrop for what was about to unfold. As he neared home, his dashcam picked up something truly strange, something that left him feeling pretty unsettled. The footage shows a mysterious bipedal creature darting into the woods. It's covered in dark fur from head to toe and appears to stand somewhere between 6 and 8 feet tall. At first glance, it almost resembles an ape, but there's something distinctly off about it. Something doesn't quite add up. When the footage is slowed down, the creature's movements and appearance seem unnatural, shall we say. Its gait is surprisingly human-like, yet it lacks the type of fluidity we'd expect from a person or an animal. This combination of features has led many to one conclusion: Bigfoot. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Some viewers are certain the clip is a hoax, pointing to how easily such things can be staged. And to be fair, skepticism is pretty understandable. Who doesn't question these kinds of sightings? But here's where it gets interesting. Many in the cryptid community are standing firm in their belief that this footage is authentic. Part of me is convinced, and I could see how the untrained eye would 100% believe this. So, what do you think? Genuine evidence of Bigfoot or Dogman? Let's get the debate going. Well, what do we have here? I shared this clip a while ago when we were talking about the drones, but I mean, come on, what is this thing? A woman on the side of the road found herself behind a huge semi-truck pulling what appears to be a UFO. It's covered and, well, I don't know how secure it is, but it's covered. Many people are calling BS, saying that not even the government would transport a UFO like this in broad daylight. And I gotta be honest, I think they might. I know they pride themselves on keeping us uninformed, but the original uploader said that this could be a deliberate misdirection. Again, don't think they're that smart. I think they just have a UFO and it's tied to the back of the semi. Okay, fine. I'll settle for UFO or alien hot tub. Let me know what you guys think. This next clip is filled with animals fighting back. We see this horse taking on this big old alligator. He even gets nipped a bit. Mr. Kangaroo, I can't. These guys are hilarious. The goat doesn't seem too worried, but this is kind of funny. This one reminds me of like a puppy chasing like a bigger dog. Just took a little kick to the head. He's tough. This next clip, originally uploaded to Instagram by a guy named Terror's Reels, shows a young boy with a VR headset playing a game. He's so deeply engaged that it takes him a minute to realize that there's something else going on in the room. The boy doesn't say anything, but you can almost feel like he senses something's there. Then something startling happens.
Stop!
The boy's shirt appears to be tugged by an unseen force. Absolutely freaked out, he calls out for his mom, but she doesn't answer. When the family posted this online, everyone was saying that this is definitely a poltergeist. A comment that got a lot of likes and some sub-comments was a person theorizing that his fear might actually be fueling this entity. Perhaps there's some type of spiritual attachment to him or this home, and it's feasting on his fear. I mean, you already know we have the haters, but one funny comment was like, "Gee, Mom, thanks for nothing." Mom never shows up. I'll say this, I'm not sure what's going on. This could be a genuine haunting. It could be a hoax, but I'll tell you what, that boy, if this is a hoax, he's not in on it. No sirree, he is not in on it, because he is freaked out.
Mom! Stop! Where are you, Mom? Mom!
A couple of Trailcam photos from Southwest Ohio has got everyone talking online. Captured an hour apart, the two images reveal a peculiar development that's left many scratching their heads. The first photo seems perfectly ordinary, a quiet, unassuming patch of forest, the kind of thing you'd expect from a motion-activated camera in a hunting area. But now, the second image is where things take a strange turn. On the right-hand side, a faint figure appears. The outline suggests the shape of a head and torso, but the details are blurred, giving the image an unsettling and ghostly quality. Adding to the intrigue, the Trailcam recorded an unusual temperature drop between the two photos. While local weather data showed only a slight change, the camera itself detected a sudden 10-degree difference. Some commenters believe this anomaly might point to paranormal activity. The person who posted is not a believer and didn't want to jump to any conclusions, but she posted it onto Reddit. Some of them chalked it up to just being, shadows or whatever. Others speculated about a possibility of a person or even a spirit caught on camera. Tell me, which would be scarier, a spirit or a trespasser you can't track down? In this clip, we're looking at footage from Snowmass Village, Colorado, nestled right against the mountainside. The location is particularly intriguing. There's nothing behind the property except wilderness trails. The only thing you'll really see is the regular wildlife visitors and the occasional bear. But this encounter was different. Late one night while enjoying a cigar on his back porch, the homeowner heard unusual growling sounds. What caught his attention wasn't just the noise, but the height of this creature. He estimates it was about 8 feet tall. I mean, he's flat out convinced that he saw a Sasquatch. What happened next adds another layer to the story. When the family dogs were let out after the video was taken, they went into a complete frenzy. The submitter acknowledged that while the glowing eyes in the footage might look like any typical forest animal, what the video fails to capture is the sheer size of whatever was out there that night. She emphasizes that the massive scale of the creature simply doesn't translate to video. So, what do you think was lurking in the Colorado darkness that night? Just outside Atlantic City, New Jersey, an extraordinary event unfolded that left even an experienced Air Force veteran questioning what they witnessed. The sighting began during what started as an ordinary evening conversation between two friends in a front yard. Their attention was drawn skyward by something remarkable, a brilliantly glowing orb estimated to be hovering at around 25,000 feet.
Dad, I think Mama's gonna sign me up for gymnastics with Luna.
But what makes this sighting particularly compelling wasn't just the mysterious object itself. 4 F-16 fighter jets were scrambled from a nearby squadron, seemingly in response to this aerial anomaly. The witness, whose military background includes extensive experience with both aircraft and drones, watched as the luminous object moved deliberately toward their location. After about 10 minutes or so, the orb abruptly changed course. Perhaps most intriguingly, this aerial show continued for over 90 minutes before the object finally vanished from view. So what is going on here? Is this a technological breakthrough we're not even meant to know about? Or perhaps something even more mysterious? Even sinister? The presence of military aircraft certainly adds weight to this Atlantic City mystery. A man named Kyle was mountain biking through the woods when he noticed that something was tracking him through the woods. Kyle kept his cool, pedaling faster, but it didn't matter how fast he pedaled, the thing kept pace. He couldn't shake this thing, and really starting to panic, he just said, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna at least get on film whatever's gonna kill me. It's hard to see, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll replay it with an arrow pointing at the person or creature. Check out what this man's GoPro films while he's hiking this mountain trail. Man, life comes at you fast. What is up, guys? I am Lincoln. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Dread Captures. I hope you enjoy. Security footage in Ohio captures the moment a tornado moves over its property and onto the boat dock. Those canoes didn't stand a chance. It wrecked everything in its way, not only the boats, but the dock. Winds were said to have reached over 100 miles per hour. It tosses them around like they're loose pieces of trash. Check this footage out. Taken from a security camera at an unknown location, we begin with several odd light-like objects speeding past this camera. Now, before we even get into it, someone said these are insects. I'm not buying it. White, ghostly figures appear running along the outside of a fence. Suddenly, some of these figures leap over the fence and land motionless on the ground. Some viewers have suggested these strange shapes might just be deer. But the way they land, still, kind of like a sack of potatoes, makes me doubt that theory. Now, after these guys show up, and at a time when it seems the video couldn't get any stranger, a long trail of light appears at the top of the screen. What is that? This is undoubtedly one of the most bizarre videos I've encountered. Could these mysterious white figures be ghosts or some other type of supernatural entities? If anyone has any insight into this footage, I'm all ears. Okay, watch closely. We're going to see some shadowy figures off to the left. It almost looks like a woman in a nightgown or a flowy dress. And the second clip is even clearer. And instead of one, in this clip it looks like there are two figures in the back left of the screen. Now, while I think behind this apartment complex this is a pretty creepy area, and it wouldn't surprise me if something like this went down, but my only hang-up is that the figures are blurry. I guess you could say in an unnatural way. Eager to hear your thoughts. In March of this year, a group of friends set out on a road trip in a camper. As they approached a remote, densely wooded area, they decided to pull over briefly. The quiet of the surroundings was suddenly broken when one friend spotted a shadowy, hooded figure lurking in the brush watching them. Quickly, panic set in, and they scrambled to secure the camper. In the chaos, one of them was smart and caught the figure on camera. However, when they went to look at the video, it was pretty short. With nerves frayed, they locked themselves in, unsure if this guy would return. Everyone is still on edge, but out of nowhere the footage cuts off.
Close the door, close the door. Close the door. Lock the door. Close.
She was right there.
No, I caught it on camera. Somebody right there. Is it locked? He's not there anymore.
You caught it on
I saw it.
No,
Yo, he's not there anymore.
Standing there.
Yo, there's nobody there. Holy crap, yo, there's nobody. What? Yo, look. Yo, what the hell? Yo, I'm scared.
We assume they managed to drive away safely, but unfortunately the unsettling figure remains a mystery. Many viewers noted that it looked almost demonic, wearing the cloak, unnaturally thin. I will say that most people thought this was a person, not that that makes it any less dangerous. All I know is that it probably took them a while to shake this feeling. And whether it was a cryptid or some disturbed individual, I know this experience left them rattled. In this next clip, some paranormal experts suggest that this image shows the spirit of an accident victim. And that victim is attempting to warn this young girl about her not having her seatbelt on. In November of 2016, Melissa Kurtz was driving her daughter Harper to a beauty pageant. 13-year-old Harper, looking for entertainment, took a few selfies. Unaware of the eerie image that would show itself in the photo. Now, both mother and daughter insist that they were alone in the car. Yet as you can see, a pale, curly-haired boy appears in the back seat. Obviously disturbed by the photo, Kurtz investigated the stretch of road where it was taken and found that the boy's image matched the unfortunate victim's photo. A tragic accident had happened on that stretch of highway 4 years ago. Although experts have attempted to debunk the photo, they have yet to offer an explanation. One investigator speculated that the boy may be the accident victim, now trying to warn Harper about her seatbelt. Kurtz believes her daughter has always attracted supernatural phenomena, noting that orbs of light frequently appear in photos of her. She also shared that when Harper was young, she was once found drawing strange symbols on a window. When researched, these symbols were found to resemble glyphs, telling the story of Archangel Raphael. Now, with that being said, what is really happening in this image? Could Harper have a connection to supernatural energy, which might draw the young boy's spirit to her? Let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you know anyone else that has these capabilities. Alright, this next clip comes from the YouTube channel The Third Phase of the Moon. This mysterious footage just surfaced in South America. Now we're showing the original video alongside an enhanced version. Brightness and contrast were added so we can get a closer look at what we're dealing with here. Well, it's pretty bizarre. A classic flying saucer shape hovers silently in the sky. but it has these unusual long appendages extending downwards. They kind of look like some type of landing gear. But the crazy part is that this thing isn't about to land. It's just floating in the air. I mean, experts that have seen the video say that it looks like this is interacting with something below. Another theory is that it could be gathering samples from the atmosphere. Could those long structures be reaching out to analyze the environment? In the last part we see that there's a little glow. A strange light seems to emanate from underneath the craft. Gives it almost a ghost-like illumination. Personally, I think the crazy part is that there's no explanation as to why it's staying in the air. No engines, propellers, no noise, basically no propulsion. But the no sound is probably the weirdest part. I mean, even a drone makes some noise. Well, whatever it is, it doesn't fit into the conventional framework of flying objects, so I'm as mystified as you are. Filmed just last month, this video uploaded by a girl named Jessica shared a strange experience her father had been dealing with. Recently, he noticed that the motion sensor lights in his backyard were being triggered constantly. He checks his phone, he pops up, he goes outside to look around and investigate. Nothing's there. He kind of shrugged it off and just figured something was triggering it, or maybe the equipment was malfunctioning. As the days turned into weeks and this kept happening, he got more and more frustrated and was determined to get to the bottom of it. This time he set up a security camera that never turns off. What he captured was far from what he expected. A white shadowy figure appears to glide back and forth across the yard. Now I think we can all agree this shape seems to resemble a human both in height and size, but what could it be? Skeptics have tried to dismiss this footage, suggesting it could be something right in front of the lens. Some bugs, spider, fingerprints, which, and I'll admit, can sometimes create strange visual effects, but in this case, the figure appears to be a pretty good distance from the camera, out in the middle of the yard. Anyhow, the family is stunned by what they have captured on camera. They've lived here for 11 years and they're really starting to question everything. Help them out if you have any ideas. This clip showcases what we've come to know as zombie deer. Of course, they're not technically zombies, but they are deer. Deer that are suffering from chronic wasting disease. Chronic wasting disease, or CWD, is a fatal neurological illness that affects deer. CWD is a part of a group of diseases called TSEs. They're caused by abnormal proteins called prions. These prions trigger a chain reaction in the brain, gradually destroying neural tissue, leading to symptoms that give the deer a zombie-like appearance. Infected animals may show signs like severe weight loss, excessive drooling and salivation, loss of coordination, staggering gait. A big one is the loss of fear of humans or predators. The disease progresses slowly, sometimes over several years, with symptoms often becoming visible only in advanced stages. Worst of all, CWD is highly contagious and spreads through direct contact with infected animals, as well as through contaminated soil, water, and plants. As of now, there is no documented cases of CWD transmission to humans, but stay safe out there, my friends.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
He's freaking awesome.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
He's freaking awesome.
This next clip talks about a family that is camping in Kansas when they spot something unusual. Not far from the road in a nearby field, they spotted a creature that looked like a Bigfoot trying to sneak away from this area, trying to be undetected. They quickly grabbed their camera to capture the moment. And yes, the camera footage isn't the best, but it's in the early 2000s. We can clearly see the video showing a dark, hairy figure slowly moving across the field and the tree line. There were definitely some haters in the comments, and they were saying that it's so hard to gauge the creature's size from the video, and that it doesn't look very big. Then we had other speculators talking about it being a hoax. But for me, I just think it could be a younger Bigfoot. Maybe it's a teenage Bigfoot. Experts say that Bigfoot creatures can vary in size and shape much like humans and other animals. But if I could, observe the creature's gait. This is where it feels a little unusual. If anything to me, this is the part that makes it feel staged or feel like a person in a costume. A YouTuber named Maximum Fear brought up a good point. If it were a hoax, wouldn't the video have steadier footage? That makes you think. Nevertheless, do we think this family truly captured a Sasquatch? My algo has got locked into these long casting videos, and that's in a shark's mouth. Yeah, so these guys have these giant surf rods and they throw them a mile, and then some attach cameras to them. So if you were ever wondering what the inside of a shark's mouth looked like, there you go. Alright, check this one out. In December of 2019, a group of 5 boys was spearfishing at an undisclosed location in the Philippines. Since they had caught a bunch of fish in the past, they decided to record their adventure this time. As the boys are introducing themselves to the camera, something bizarre happens. Right behind them, a mysterious figure suddenly appears. If you pay close attention, you'll notice a shadowy shape moving swiftly toward the river. The boys didn't realize it at the time, and by the time they reached the river just moments later, the mysterious figure had vanished. And I have to say that that is pretty creepy. Let's dig in. What could this have been? Unfortunately, I couldn't find any more information about this footage. The original uploader said that this is most likely an indigenous group known as the Batak tribe, and they are said to live deep within the forest of the Philippines. With that being said, this figure could have just been a member of the tribe. But a lot of people think it's something more mysterious. So here's the deal. Some guys decided to head out one night armed with a flashlight and a camera, hoping to track down a mysterious creature they'd heard about. They were wandering around in the dark when something unexpected happened. As they were walking, the camera picked up something pretty creepy in the distance. You can see it for yourself. A shadowy figure just moving through the darkness. And your first thought is that it definitely shouldn't be there. One of the guys noticed it first and shouted, which seemed to have provoked whatever it was. In a matter of seconds, the creature charged right at them, knocking the camera to the ground. You can hear the chaos happening in the background as the camera briefly catches the creature running away. And then, nothing. Everything goes quiet. Thankfully, none of the guys were seriously hurt, and they made it home in one piece. And as far as the footage, it's pretty intense. For me, what's wild is how real this thing seems. It doesn't have that obvious hoax vibe that you see in a lot of videos. The way its body was moving and its sudden aggression just seemed to give it a little bit more legitimacy. Then again, on the flip side, the fact that these guys were able to get this close to this and managed to walk away unharmed, that definitely sows a few seeds of doubt. Let me know your thoughts. So a family in northern Minnesota were having Christmas dinner when it took a startling turn. No, Uncle Jerry didn't bring up politics, even though he probably should have. But it was more so of an unexpected visitor. A few of the family members noticed unusual movements outside in their yard while they were eating. And of course they thought it would be a good idea to take a closer look. So one member, along with their dog, ventured outside and witnessed what appeared to be a Sasquatch moving among the trees in the distance. I always go to the animal, and the dog's reaction is telling. It seemed ready to fight this presence, but also a little fearful. After several tense moments looking in the snowy woods, a shadowy figure emerged. And yes, it looks exactly like a Sasquatch. Large, bipedal, ape-like, covered in hair. What do you guys think? Do we have a legitimate sighting here?